What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. The NBA regular season is officially over, and now we have the play-in tournament coming. But today, like I've been promising, we're starting a new series with a realistic off-season rebuild series where we're focusing on the teams right now that are kind of looking ahead towards the offseason already. And we're obviously starting with the worst record team, the Houston Rockets. So the Houston Rockets have an interesting future ahead of them. Obviously, they were forced to trade James Harden. They traded Russell Westbrook, and now this team is, officially rebuilding. But they do have some good pieces there, so that is a good thing. But guys, real quick plug, I did upload a play-in predictions on my second channel if you guys are interested in going to watch that. Other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. And like I said, we're going to be kind of doing these teams in order from their terrible record, from like the worst record to the best is how we're going to do this. And of course, when teams get eliminated from the playoffs or the play-in tournament, we'll go ahead and address them as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, let's go ahead and jump right into it, and let's rebuild the Houston Rockets realistically as possible. Okay, so since there isn't a draft lottery yet, this is kind of how I did the draft order. I kind of just based it off the record right now. So if your team was the worst, you got the #1 pick, obviously. So I just kind of went in order because the draft lottery is always random. And so basically, the Rockets had the worst. So ignore, like, obviously all the teams like, Spurs via Utah. Obviously, this is just kind of getting the correct draft order. So Rockets have the #1 pick because they suck and they're the worst team. Pistons second worst in the league. Mavs third worst. You guys get it. So on and so forth. Everything in the lottery is correct, but past that, some of the playoff teams aren't actually correct right now, but that's no big deal because we're not really rebuilding them anyway today. So for the most part, though, this is kind of the draft order it would be if the season ended today and there was no draft lottery. Well, the season did end, but if there was no draft lottery, this is how the draft order would be. If it was just like NFL rules where you suck the worst, you get the #1 pick. But it's not like that in the NBA because they try to reduce tanking. So let's go and get started. Like I said, this is going to be super realistic because this is an offseason rebuild series where we're going to be kind of addressing the team's offseason, what I think they'll do, how I think things will go, and stuff like that. So pardon me if there's something I do you don't think is realistic. Definitely leave it down in the comment section below. But for this first part, trainers, obviously that doesn't really matter, but I guess we're not getting a better trainer anyway. We're just going to get Randy Martin. I don't expect the Rockets to make any changes due to their head coaching staff. They just signed Steven, so I don't see why they would go ahead and fire him. That literally wouldn't make any sense. So we're on to the draft, though. So on draft night, the Rockets do have a lot of interesting players to look at here. So John Wall, somebody we all know is probably going to get traded. It's just a matter of who is going to be willing to take on a guy like John Wall. And I have a couple teams in mind, but other than that, it's kind of rocky, man. Getting rid of John Wall ain't going to be easy. And then there's Eric Gordon, a contract that's also kind of bad, and he just came off, and he's coming off an injury. So Kevin Porter Jr., a really, really good piece for the Rockets. They got him for a steal from the Cavaliers, and I think he's going to be really nice for them. So very happy and excited for them about that. There's like DJ Augustine. There's Daniel House. So there's, there's a couple guys I want to get rid of. As far as our draft pick situation, the Rockets draft pick was #1. Worst record. It's top 4 protected. I think that's how it is anyway. So if it does land in the top 4, the Rockets keep their pick. So like I said, I based it off the worst record, and then we also have that Bucks pick here as well. So let's go ahead though, and I think the first thing I want to do is I want to address John Wall. I think that's a good way to start this, man. So like looking around the league, you kind of have to find an interesting situation to like who would want to take on a point guard like John Wall. I could think of the Mavericks maybe, but I don't know how well Luka and John Wall would fit together. Probably not the best. But if they were just desperate for a star, I guess. I don't see the Lakers going for him. I guess the Knicks wanted a star. Maybe John Wall could be interesting for them if they wanted to do something like that. The Kings, the Jazz. I mean, if Mike Conley was leaving and they thought John Wall could still bring something to the table, maybe that's an interesting situation. But the team that stands out to me the most is obviously the Clippers. I feel like they re-signed Kawhi Leonard in the offseason, obviously. And then they've been looking for a point guard. They obviously got Rondo, but that's not going to be a long-term solution. So a guy like John Wall, I feel like makes the most sense. Literally, they're like, this is the only team I feel like that makes the most sense. If you guys have a different team in mind that would make more sense to grab John Wall, then go ahead and leave it down in the comment section below. But for now, I honestly feel like the Clippers are the best situation to trade him to, and that's what I'm going to try to do here in a second. Through here, we get Patrick Beverley and Luke Kennard to kind of make the salaries match, and we also get their late draft pick. At least we're getting some kind of value. So we're going to offer that to them. They actually have a counter offer here. So they're going to actually give me another pick, and they only want a second and Daniel House as well. I mean, Daniel House staying here doesn't make a lot of sense anyway, and the Clippers get another shooter off the bench. So yeah, I think this is a trade that makes a lot of sense. We get a young player in Luke Kennard and a couple draft picks for John Wall. I like this first trade we're doing. John Wall is gone. So just like that, the Clippers get their point guard and the Rockets get rid of John Wall. So I think both sides, it kind of works out there. I feel like every Rockets rebuild I do, I trade a realistic rebuild I do, I always trade John Wall to the Clippers. But again, I don't know what other team is going to take on John Wall. Maybe there's some team I'm not even thinking about. But John Wall is gone. Eric Gordon's another interesting situation. Honestly, there could be any team that would swoop in to get him. And I don't really know a team at the top of my head that, like, a team would have to have like a salary they don't want anymore. And then like they feel like they are like an Eric Gordon off the bench away from being like really good. Like, I guess if the Wizards were desperate enough, but I don't know if they have a salary like Davis Bertans. But if I'm Houston, I wouldn't want to take on that salary. But I think for now, we're probably just going to keep Eric Gordon and kind of wait. But we do have the first pick in the draft. And obviously, I think with the first pick, it is pretty obvious who the Rockets should select here. There's Evan Mobley, there's Jalen Suggs, but Cade Cunningham seems like the best player out of the draft anyway. At least to a lot of people's minds. There's also Jalen Green, who could be interesting. But, I mean, we do have Kevin Porter Jr., who's kind of a point guard, I guess. He does kind of play shooting guard, small forward on 2K, but he's mostly a point guard. So he could kind of take a different direction and draft Jalen Green. But I think Cade Cunningham is going to be the guy I take here. I think it makes too much sense. And just like that, Cade Cunningham comes to Houston. I think he took best available. Might as well, right? He's going to have Kevin Porter Jr. and Cade Cunningham in the backcourt, have them work it out. So we also have another draft pick here. So we could take another big man. We could take another shooting guard in Cam Thomas. So I'm going to go ahead and take that 2 guard here. And then we also have the 27th pick, I think it is, from Milwaukee. So we're going to go ahead and select another young player here. We don't want to select another guard, though. So I'm going to go ahead and take Charles with that pick. And just like that, we're coming out of the draft with Cade Cunningham. We're also coming out with Cam Thomas, who is also a 77 overall. And we're also coming out with a center who's also 77 overall. So, honestly, looking pretty good coming out of the draft. I like what we've done. We got a few young players coming in to build around Kevin Porter Jr. and Christian Wood, guys like that. Player options, of course, we don't really need Avery Bradley back. Jayshawn Tate we can bring back, and Kyrie Thomas. If we wanted to accept his team option, we could, but I'm just going to go ahead and let him walk. There's no point. Okay, qualifying offers. Throwing Brown, a 26-year-old, so we could, and then there's DJ Wilson. So, honestly, if these guys wanted to come back, they're more than welcome to, but I'm not going to go out there and start sweating it and be like, oh my God, I need these guys back. So they're gone if I don't re-sign them. But as far as free agents are concerned, not looking to get Kelly Olynyk back. He's actually had some really good games for Houston, but obviously Houston has no reason to keep him around. So right now, I kind of just want to look at my situation. So got Cade Cunningham, of course, Patrick Beverley. We got Eric Gordon, Kevin Porter Jr. So I think what I'm going to do is start Kevin Porter Jr. and Cade Cunningham together in the backcourt. We also selected Cam Thomas. We are going to try to trade Eric Gordon. There's just too much going on. Jayshawn Tate, Kenyon Martin Jr., and then Christian Wood and Charles. So I think the best thing to do here is to kind of free some minutes up. I am going to move Luke Kennard to the small forward just to kind of have him back up that position. So Luke Kennard at 6'5", just going to play some small ball, small forward whenever we need him to. And then we'll have Kevin Porter Jr. and Cam Thomas kind of run the shooting guard spot. And then Beverly will kind of run backup point guard for now until we can find a trade for him or something. We could probably trade him at the trade deadline or something along the lines of that. So Eric Gordon, Kevin Porter Jr. But Eric Gordon trades, I got to actually kind of dig deep to kind of see what would make sense for me to trade Eric Gordon, because I do want to trade him. I'm just not sure where makes the most sense. So let me kind of, scan around the league real quick and see what I think makes the most sense for Eric Gordon and someone else to trade for him. So, I mean, I'm kind of looking around the league, and something that I feel like could make a little bit of sense is Eric Gordon to the Dallas Mavericks. So the Mavericks could get themselves a shooter next to Luka Doncic. They could have Eric Gordon come off the bench or start, whatever they wanted to do, and they just simply get rid of Dwight Powell. So honestly, I think this is kind of a win-win situation for both sides. We get rid of Eric Gordon, and we also take on Dwight Powell, who will expire sooner than Eric Gordon will, because I believe Eric Gordon has a player option. He has a team option, so I guess it's kind of the same thing, but Dwight Powell a little bit cheaper, so I'm going to go ahead and offer that, and the Mavericks to accept that. So, and plus, we kind of had a logjam anyway at that shooting guard spot. So, honestly, W all around. Power forward situation could be a little bit better, but honestly, I like what we have going right now. So, if I wanted to go out there in free agency and sign someone, I'm not going to get too aggressive. I don't think Houston will be in the market of being able to get a Lauri Markkanen or a John Collins. I feel like John Collins will get matched by Atlanta. But if we kind of just wanted to get maybe somebody out here that could be interesting to kind of just play for the team for a little bit, there's Moritz Wagner. We could sign him to like a 2-year team option kind of thing just to have some depth at that power forward spot. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do something like that. So Moritz Wagner, welcome to the team. That way we do something in free agency, obviously. And then a backup point guard maybe later on for when we trade Beverly away, because I am going to be planning on trading him at probably the trade deadline. Let's see if there's any young point guard. Dennis Smith Jr. could be interesting. Cameron Payne. Frank Ntilikina, if we wanted to take a chance on him, we could. But he's asking for a lot of money, so I don't know if I want to do that. And then there's Dante Exum, Mason Jones. So I don't think I'll worry about it. So we got rid of the 2 guys we wanted to get rid of the most, and we had a really good draft. So I feel like that offseason was pretty successful for the most part. So per progression, Christian Wood does go down in overall, which is a little unfortunate. It's probably because his age peak is broken right now, so I'm going to go ahead and fix that. But I'm pretty excited about the future of this team. We have a really good thing going on. So Kevin Porter Jr. and Cade Cunningham together could wreak havoc in the league, maybe one day. So I'm excited to see how that goes. But I'm going to fix Christian Wood, and we're going to look at the rotation and kind of see how things go for this season number 1. Kind of slim, but with Cade Cunningham developing and Kevin Porter Jr. hopefully developing as well, this team is going to get really good really fast. So Luke Kennard, Kenyon Martin Jr. are starting at the forward spots. We have Christian Wood at the center, Jay Sean Tate off the bench, Dwight Powell, Patrick Beverly, and Cam Thomas. And we also have Charles kind of sitting out of the rotation right now, but eventually Beverly will be gone. I think at the trade deadline, I'm going to try to trade him. I'm going to attempt to anyway. Don't know how well it's going to go, but I am going to attempt to trade Patrick Beverly because there's no reason for him to stay here very long. I could just let him walk in the offseason. One thing I do want to check real quick, though, is shot tendencies because so most of these times these aren't very good. So Ken Porter Jr., he's kind of our next James Harden, right? So we kind of want to boost his shot tendency up a lot. And then Christian Wood, I would like to see him take some shots as well. So we're going to boost those 2 shot tendencies up. And we're going to go ahead and simulate season number 1. Right now, our proficiency already is sitting at a 4-star, which is awesome. So hopefully, in season number 1, we're a very good team, very interesting team. And we can at least make some noise. I don't know if we'll be a playoff team, but let's at least be interesting. To an end, and honestly, we were very interesting. At one point, we were the 7th seed, and that's all I wanted. But we did end up falling out, and we're in the lottery, which is totally fine because we kind of need some more building to do anyway. Joel Embiid, MVP of the year, awesome stuff for him. Cade Cunningham wins Rookie of the Year, so making a really good impact for us coming in. 26-9. Jalen Suggs, 6th man, defensive player. Boyar Most Improved, and Mike Malone Coach of the Year, and Kyle Harper Executive. So All NBA first team: Luka, Trae Young, LeBron, Giannis, Embiid. All NBA second team: Russell Westbrook, Harden, KD, Butler, Jokic. And here's your All NBA third team, All Defense first team, All Defensive second team. So, like I said, we didn't make playoffs, but we did go 36-46. So that's actually really good compared to what the Rockets just went in real life. They only won 16 games, I think it was. So, Cade Cunningham 22, 21 from Kevin Porter Jr., which is awesome. I wanted to see him continue to strive, and boosting his shot tendency probably helped out with that. So Christian Wood also with 21 and 10. So kind of have a nice big 3 going. Luke Kennard chipped in 13 points. Kenyon Martin with 12. Cam Thomas with 10. So honestly, big W's all around. And honestly, I totally forgot to trade Patrick Beverly, but it's okay. It is what it is. So similar to these playoffs, let's go ahead and see who goes on to win it all this year. As we have New York being very interesting. They make it all the way to the NBA Finals with Chris Paul. So man, that'd be interesting if the Knicks. I don't know if Chris Paul is declining his player option though, because that player option would just be a lot of money to leave on the table. But hey, Chris Paul went to the Knicks and won a championship, which is W, and then the Julius Randle's still there. But we have some more building to do, and I think there's a good chance we'll be in the playoffs next season. We were very close this season. If we get another good draft pick here, I think we'll be in good shape. So we are projected number 13. Okay, via Detroit. Where's our pick projected? Oh, okay. Oh, wait a minute. Is it because maybe we don't have our pick here? Okay, interesting. Rockets. Oh no, the Detroit Pistons are projected to get our pick. That makes sense. Okay, never mind. So let me just see how the lottery goes. I don't really know how this is gonna go. So actually, we have number 9 and number 13. So okay, I think that pick swap was there, which gave us that 9th pick, and then 13 we kept our pick, which it was probably protected in some way. I don't know. And we also have 24 from Brooklyn. So 3 draft picks here. Absolute W. We can go ahead and try to sign someone. I'm obviously gonna go ahead and bring my coaching staff back. We can bring Mike D'Antoni back as well. I don't care. So I'll just sign all these guys back. I've one. Okay. I feel like you can't sign 2 assistant coaches at the same time, which makes no sense to me, but it is a thing in 2K. But let's go to the draft now. So 3 draft picks here, which means we can honestly kind of keep building young players here. So let's go ahead with these 3 draft picks, go in and see what we can do here. So at number 9, we are going to be taking Kendall Brown at that small forward spot. We don't really have the best small forward. Kenny Chandler's here, but we already have a point guard. So I saw Kendall Brown, and there's Jabari Smith Jr. here as well. So there's actually really good, really good players here. Okay, I don't want to take a point guard. Kenny Chandler is a really good draft pick here, though. Mojave King, John Montero, Brian Antoine, Will Richardson, Marcus Bagley, Jabari Smith Jr. here. So Do I trade down here? Because there is still a lot of good prospects on the board, and I don't want to take a point guard here. So, if I traded down, I'm just kind of curious if anything would pop up. I'm getting some crazy offers right now, though. Adrian Griffin, a first-round pick. Nobody's offering me their draft pick, though, to trade down. Okay, I could trade down to the Wizards and get number 10, but I have to take on Davis Bertans. I'm good. So, I guess I'll just take someone here. I'm going to be taking Kendall Brown with this pick, I think, and then with the number 13 draft pick, I'm going to be selecting Kenny Chandler is still here. Should I just take him? He's slipping. I'm taking him, man. Might as well, right? He's slipping all the way to me. I got to take him. So then we're going to take Jabari Smith Jr., who also slipped all the way down here. So absolute W. Looking at our draft pick situation, we took a 79 overall Kendall Brown. And at number 13, we took Kenny Chandler. And then at number, 24, we took Jabari Smith Jr. So another really good draft. So we're going to take all those guys and be absolutely happy about it. Maurice Wagner will be declining because we have our situation figured out now. Qualifying offers, not really worried about either of those guys. And then free agency, I honestly don't think we really need to be aggressive in free agency because Cade Cunningham, Kenny Chandler, Kevin Porter, Cam Thomas, Jay Sean Tate, Luke Kennard, and Kendall Brown. So we kind of have that situation already figured out. Jabari Smith and Kenny Martin Jr., and then Christian Wood, Charles, and Dwight Powell. So honestly, there's no need to get aggressive in free agency. I guess if there's one position I kind of would look to upgrade, it's that power forward spot. KD, Julius Randle, Jaren Jackson Jr. I mean, I'll throw an offer at him, but I doubt I'm going to get him. We could get interesting here and throw Marvin Bagley an offer. If he was asking for less money, I would, as a Houston GM, I don't think it would be a terrible idea to, offer him a contract. There's Eric Paschall as well, who could be interesting, but I don't want to give him that much money. I don't know if he's worth that. Zach Collins, yeah, it kind of just gets thin there. So I'll offer Jaren Jackson Jr. a contract, but he's probably gonna get matched here, realistically. Yeah, so we didn't get him. It's fine. I'm gonna roll forward with what we have right now. We literally almost made the playoffs already, so I'm pretty ecstatic and pretty excited that I think we could easily make the playoffs this next season, especially with all the player progression we do have and all the draft picks we just acquired. So yeah, I think I like our odds of possibly making the playoffs this next season. And we actually did make the playoffs. We're the 5th seed in the West, which is actually awesome after trading James Harden just 2 years ago. MVP Trae Young, Chet Holmgren Rookie of the Year, Suggs 6th man, Giannis Defensive Player, Kobe White Most Improved, and Stan Van the Man is your Coach of the Year, even though a lot of people don't like him in real life particularly. So All-NBA first team as a head coach anyway. I don't know about personally, but Embiid, Giannis, KD, Luka, Trae Young is your All-NBA first team. All-NBA second team, we got John Morant, Russell Westbrook, LeBron, Jimmy Butler, Nurkic, Cade Cunningham, All-NBA third team with LaMelo Ball. Awesome stuff there. All-Defense first team, All-Defense second team. So 5th seed in the West is all you can ask for, 44 and 38. So we made the playoffs, which is actually awesome. Player stats, 23 from Kevin Porter Jr., up to an 87 overall. 23 from Cade Cunningham, 17 from Christian Wood, 14 from Cam Thomas, 14 from Kendall Brown. We actually kind of ran a more interesting rotation this year because they wanted to start Charles at the center spot. So I decided to run Christian Wood at the power forward this year, which it actually kind of worked dividends, obviously. So made the playoffs, which is awesome. We still have Jabari Smith and Kenny Chandler, who aren't even getting minutes yet, which is actually kind of crazy to think about. So let's go ahead, though, and see how these playoffs are going to go. We're playing the Denver Nuggets. Jamal Murray, Moses Moody, Michael Porter, Bol, Jokic, Moses Brown. I mean, even if we don't win the series here, I'm excited. I'm very, very proud of this team. So in the current round, and we lose in 5. That's fine. That's fine. I'm actually going to run one more season, I think, and kind of see how things go. Because I think we're kind of, on the trail to doing something. So I'm very, very excited on how this is going so far. Draft lottery, though. Wow, we end up with the number 1 pick for the Milwaukee Bucks. So, and number 6. Can't script that any better. That's actually kind of insane. So yeah, this team is actually, I don't know what the odds of that were. I don't know if we were projected number 1. I kind of skipped over it. I was not expecting to have this good of a pick, which means, you know who we're selecting? I'm going to show you. Mock drafts. Amani Bates is in here and somewhere. That's who we're taking. Amani Bates is going to come be our small forward. That is an absolute major W coming in. So let's go to the NBA draft. Number 1 and number 6. And honestly, we could probably trade a couple guys here too. We have 3 picks in this draft. So with number 1, we will be selecting Amani Bates, and I will not be looking back. So number 1, we're going to be selecting, like I said, Mr. Amani Bates. Welcome to the Houston Rockets. So, and then at number 6, we're also going to be taking, I guess, whoever's available here. We have Jaden Bradley. We don't need a point guard, though. Zion Cruz, Chandler, AJ Casey. I don't even know what we need, honestly. I mean, I could probably just take best available and be cool. I guess I'll take Dariq Whitehead. Why not? Sim to the end on that. And just like that, Amani Bates coming in at 83 overall. And at number 6, we got a 78 overall. So probably should have taken a big man, but it's okay. Welcome to the team, all you guys. And we got AJ Casey later on. Wow, player options. We're gonna accept all that, and I think it's time to let Luke Kennard loose, man. We already have kind of a good team as it is, so no need to have him in the rotation. It'll be kind of a logjam. And then Kevin Porter Jr. is a free agent, so is Christian Wood. So obviously, I'm very interested in bringing both those guys back. Christian Wood, I'm gonna go ahead and give him his money, and also I'm gonna wait for Kevin Porter Jr. to get an offer. But yeah, Christian Wood, 1000%. I want him back. So Christian Wood, welcome back to Houston. Deserves every penny he's getting right now. And then we wait for Kevin Porter Jr. So, looking at the team right now, Kenyon Chandler, Cade Cunningham, Cam Thomas, Derek Whitehead, Amani Bates, Kendall Brown, AJ Casey, Christian Wood, Jabbar Smith, Kenyon Martin Jr., and we have Charles. So, is there a big man out here? Mo Bamba, but I'll probably wait for Kevin Porter Jr. to get an offer. Let me just go ahead and sign him, actually. Sign him to a 5-year deal, give him his money, and yeah, we don't really have any other money. So, that is going to be our rotation, honestly. So, yeah, we're kind of chilling. So let's go to player progression, kind of see how that's treating us. And like I said, this next season will probably be the last one because this team is already looking good, man. So player progression, 89, 88, 88, 84, 83. Honestly, this team is about to be, honestly, really, really interesting. I know I've said that a lot, but man, I like how this rebuild's going. So I'm going to, like I said, this is going to be the last season. So we're power ranking number 2. So there is a good chance we have a shot of winning it all this year. We have a lot of guys not even in the rotation. Proficiency wise, we're sitting at a 4.5. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this season. Actually, awesome. We're the first in the West. So this is our year. This is literally the year we could win it all. Player stats though, looking at it real quick, 20, we had 20, 19, 14, 13, 11, 10. So obviously we've built a really good team here with all the draft picks we had. So I think if Houston just stays the course and drafts well, this team could be very interesting in a few years, honestly. Hey, you know, you're gonna have to have some lottery luck, but and obviously some players are going to have to be pretty good for you. But so in the current round against the Portland Trail Blazers, we end up beating them in 4 games. And now we get to play the Los Angeles Lakers, who have Russell Westbrook, LeBron, AD, Montrezl. I'm assuming Russell Westbrook's making like $5 million right now because this is just how it goes for me. So $6 million. We're playing a very veteran Lakers team. Let's see if we can beat them. And we beat them in 5 games. So it doesn't matter what they have. We're better. Now we're playing the Denver Nuggets of Jamal Murray, Moses Moody, Michael Porter, Shai Odom, Jokic, Clint Capella, Bol, and Monte Morris. So many current round, and we beat them in 7. Very, very close series, but we do end up beating them. And now we get to play the Miami Heat, who have Jeremy Roach, Harrow, Butler, Achua, Bam Adebayo, Allen Flanagan. Game 1, we do win 1-0, so that's good. Game 2, they even it up, so very, very close series still. Game 3, they're up 2-1. All right, this is a little bit nerve-wracking. Let me go ahead and shrink my rotation to an 8-man, make this even smaller. Game 4, we win. Game 5, we win. And Game 6, we don't win. Simcast, we're going to a Game 7 in Houston. This is for a championship. This is something James Harden can never do for the Houston Rockets. Come on, baby, we got this. Very close game. Very, very close game. We kind of need to make it even closer, though, because right now, it is kind of slipping away to the Miami Heat right now, and that's not good. 120, yeah, it looks like Miami got this, man, unless we've been barring any crazy comeback at the end. But nope, looks like we're gonna lose in 7 games to the Miami Heat. Miami is the champions, but we were 1 game away from winning the NBA Finals, man. Jimmy Butler, Finals MVP. Just like that, guys, that's how this rebuild's gonna end. But realistic Rockets offseason rebuild, I don't know if they'll get this lucky, because obviously it's 2K. Draft lottery is a lot different in real life. Odds are different, you know, players being good. Player progression on 2K is ridiculous as well. So yeah, but I had a lot of fun with this one. Next will be Detroit Pistons. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. But for now, this is Crushables. I'm saying peace.